Hello everyone, Ryan here. So during the month of April, I also read a play titled Simply Maria or the American Dream, a satirical comedy by Josefina Lopez. And I actually enjoyed this. I think it's the first time in a very long while that I've read a play. And, well, I'll go ahead, I'll read the synopsis here, because I feel like it definitely accurately describes what it's about. So it tells the story of Maria, a young Latina aspiring to be an actress, and her dream of going to college. The story begins in Mexico with Maria's parents eloping. Maria is born, and soon after they leave for the U.S. Her father, Ricardo, tells Maria that in America, with an education, she can have the American dream. Maria believes him and studies hard. However, when she tells her parents she wants to go to college, they order her to get married instead. Maria is so upset she cries herself to sleep and has a nightmare in which her American self and her Mexican self wrestle with each other. She gets married, gives birth to 6 babies. Her wedding dress attacks her. A giant tortilla squashes her. Maria is awakened by her mother's crying, overhears her mother confronting Ricardo about his affairs. Maria is shocked by the news and realizes she has to go to college to be economically independent and have the life that she wants, one that combines the best of her 2 worlds. So yeah, that accurately sums up what the play is about. I'd actually, supposedly the playwright, she also wrote another noteworthy play. It was, I want to say it's called, she's written a number, but there's one that she wrote and it got turned into a movie, Real Women Have Curves. I remember that movie. Came out a while ago. But this one I never heard of before. And I like that it accurately portrays the close-mindedness of a lot of, I guess you could say, immigrant families. But for this, more accurately, a lot of Mexican immigrant families. Now, I wouldn't say like all of them. But I mean, because me being a Hispanic male myself, I do remember when I was growing up, a lot of my relatives, still to this day, a lot of my relatives believe that essentially women have their place, men have their place, But I guess that's in any culture. But I mean, just for the sake of this play, because it's referring to Hispanic culture mostly. There has been, because I know, like, in regards to a lot of immigrants who came across the border from Mexico into the U.S. and, unfortunately, usually it was the case that the men would go out, work, come home, bring home the bacon, so to speak. And it was always the job of the women to raise the kids, In other words, the main role of women for the longest time was thought to be nothing other than, being the, housewife, but also they would birth the children and raise the children, take care of everything else that had to do with the house or housework, or and pretty much like a lot of other things too. I mean, I know with Hispanic culture, most of the time, even usually, I mean, me growing up, it was always like, I noticed the women that would tend to be a lot more worried about their kids or their grandchildren, or when it came to certain things. And, you know, obviously I know, like, since then, that whole paradigm has changed. I mean, people's mindsets have changed, to at least to a certain extent. But I do feel like it is still, you know, that this, I mean, closed-mindedness of people is still a reality today, I feel, especially within families, and especially within, you know, different Hispanic families. And also, I want to say, most likely other cultures as well. And I mean, I like in this play where it's like, it's good. I mean, the playwright, Josefina Lopez, she's definitely good at depicting the macho-ness, or I guess technically machismo, of her father, and, you know, the fact that him and well, both her parents really, but I guess more so her father, because her mother, at least in this play, her mother comes off as just being subservient, really just agreeing with her father. You know, her mom would agree with her father, even though her mom really didn't want to agree with her father. And it wasn't until, of course, not till later on, towards the end of the play, does her mom actually come to realize, you know, what a hypocrite her father really is. And yeah, I don't know. You know, without getting into too many details, I can honestly say that I witnessed that particular scenario play out while I was growing up, you know, amongst my different relatives, and not just my family, but other Mexican families as well. And yeah, you know, for the most part, the women, usually the wives, of course, for the most part, a lot of the wives just seem to, like, just sit back and accept the fact that their husbands were hypocrites and overbearing and pig-headed and stubborn and mostly assholes. And but yeah, I mean, it's, you know, like I said, obviously that has changed to a certain extent. And, but still, I mean, I would say that I still feel like, you know, it's because of plays like these, like this one, you know, it helps to remind people of how close-minded and hypocritical, you know, just our own families can be, our own relatives can be. And, you know, despite the fact that, you know, they may say, like, you know, oh yes, you know, if you put your mind to it, you can be anything you want to be. You can do anything you want to do. But then when you actually try to explain to them, like, you know, like in this play, Maria tells her parents she wants to be an actress, and they ridicule her. They ridicule her, and then she tells them she wants to go to college. They still ridicule her. And to me, that, I feel like, yeah, that's definitely something that is not bound to any one particular culture. I feel like that's universal. Like, especially today, I feel like, you know, like, because me having this channel, this YouTube channel, like, when I tell my relatives about it, or even my friends too, but especially my relatives, you know, I tell them that, yeah, you know, I got this YouTube channel. I talk about books, book-related stuff, but also other stuff, movies, music, and other stuff. And for the most part, it always seems like, you know, my relatives, or at least the older ones, you know, they either don't understand, or they try to, like, very subtly ridicule me. Like, but I mean, you know, I guess it has to do with that whole insecurity thing. You know, people don't really like to praise other people most of the time, or I don't know. That's how I feel. But yeah, that's, you know, that all these things are definitely portrayed very well in this play. Actually, I look forward to reading other work by Josefina Lopez. And so, I mean, overall, I got to give this 5 stars just because it's well written, and it's very truthful. It's I would say even if this is like loosely based on her life, or even if it's a complete fabrication, complete work of fiction, then to me it's still pretty accurate. It's still very truthful. So yeah, and I would actually recommend everybody read this at least once. So I mean, it's a play. It's not that easy. I mean, it's not that dense. So it's definitely easy to get through. It's just truthful. So yeah, again, I give it 5 stars, and that'll do it for my review of Simply Maria or The American Dream by Josefina Lopez. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. As always, until next time, don't forget, keep it real, keep on rocking, and peace.